And here is the first serve from Paul Brady. It's short. You are watching the WPH and our continued coverage of the United States Handball Association's 2009 Waterford Crystals World Handball Championships, Multnomah Athletic Club. Paul Brady comes out with that second serve and hits his doubles partner. The left hand didn't make it to the front wall, Mike Finnegan. My name is Dave Vincent. Do appreciate the fact that you've tuned into the show court here in Portland, Oregon for these championships. There's not another player on the planet that knows Paul Brady's game better than Mike Finnegan. They're doubles partners, both from County Cavan. Mike Finnegan lives in Kings Court. Meanwhile, Paul Brady from Mullahorn, just up the street, about 15 meters. Kilometers, excuse me. Listen for the score here. One serves one. Mike Finnegan in the box. That's a skip in with a fist shot. Paul Brady is the returning world champion, actually going for a three-peat, current four-time U.S. national champion, current Irish national champion, and the current All-Ireland senior champion. Basically everything Paul plays, he wins. That's a back wall kill shot from Paul Brady. He's actually shaking his head right there, as if to say that he mishit that kill shot. That's a nice shot right there from Mike Finnegan. Mike has won over 50 All-Ireland titles, mainly in the juniors. A lot of U.S. junior and world titles as well. His trophy case expands through 3 different rooms of his house, and I've seen it. It's a beautiful shot right there from Mike Finnegan, who went through Tucson, Arizona's Abe Montijo yesterday in 2 straight games. You heard the score, 3 serves 2, first game. This is the men's round of 16. Paul Brady retrieving to Mike Finnegan, his doubles partner. Paul actually pulled out of the doubles, and you can see why. He's wearing that high leg wrap on the right hamstring, the right quad area. Pulled out because he injured that just a few weeks ago. And that brings a round of applause from his fans out here. Mike Finnegan does. He has a quick little smile as he hits Paul Brady on the way by. They both actually smiling at each other now. Another round of applause here. Very educated crowd, the Multnomah Athletic Club. Mike Finnegan serving. For those that are watching this live webcast, this might be the very first time that you've seen Mike Finnegan. You probably heard the name, but didn't realize who he was. He actually has more titles than Paul Brady does. Finnegan's mother, Philomena, Kit Finnegan, and sister Catherine, watching the action here from the show court. Let's listen for the score here. The score is 5-2. Scoreboard correct here at the show court. The Multnomah Athletic Club. Two serves 5, first game, Paul Brady in the box. right there from Mike. Five serves two very early on here. Mike actually wants to look at that ball, felt that it might have broke. Had a strange bounce on that right front corner up there. Two serves five. Watching the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships from the Multnomah Athletic Club, Portland, Oregon. Serves five here. Nice shot from Paul. He's down on one knee. Really pushing Mike Finnegan around the court, and then he closes it out with a left-hand kill shot left corner. Paul has every single shot. Right now he's playing really low. He's not going to the ceiling, but he has that game too. Finnegan is feeding right into Paul's strength here. These guys never stepped past that short line during that last rally. Normally that benefits Paul Brady. Mike Finnegan actually called a screen ball somewhere in the middle of that exchange. I don't think anybody else here saw it. But Mike Finnegan actually called that, and he has the right to do that. We're all confused about what just happened just now. Even the players now. That's where Paul Brady's at his most dangerous. And he knows he has his opponent pinned behind him back there. Paul Brady from Mullahorn, County Cavan. Just down the street, Mike Finnegan from Kings Court, County Cavan. Wearing the Irish colors. Seven to 5 now, the score. There from Mike Finnegan. I do appreciate the fact that you've tuned in to this live webcast over the internet. My name is Dave Vincent. Score is 5-7. First game, round of 16. Mike Finnegan serving to Paul Brady. Make that 6-7 now. For those that just tuned in, Mike Finnegan is Paul Brady's doubles partner. They've won so many All-Ireland titles. In fact, they've also won a U.S. national titles together in doubles. Both from the same county in Ireland. They know each other's game as good as anybody else on the planet. Best friends, you would say. Six or seven. Shot right there from Paul Brady. The crowd clapping on every single shot here. A couple hundred people in the gallery at the show court here in Portland, Oregon. Paul Brady has every single shot you can possibly imagine. But we have not seen him go to the ceiling much here. 8-6, second serve. Timeout called from Mike Finnegan at 10-6 here after Paul Brady scored 3 straight points. Calling the timeout from the Multnomah Athletic Club. It's the round of 16. Paul Brady from Mullahorn, County Cavan. The club that he plays out of is called Kingspan in the town of Kings Court. And Mike Finnegan is one of the managers there, running the youth program in Kingspan, in Kings Court. Both of these guys know each other quite well. Best friends, doubles partners. They've been sparring together for about 10 years or so. Now they find themselves playing each other in the round of 16. We have other great matches coming up right around the corner too, so make sure to stick close to this live broadcast. You're watching the WPH's continued coverage of the United States Handball Association's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships, sanctioned by the World Handball Council. My name is Dave Vincent, along with camera operator Jeff Kastner, statistician Jean Kazimoto, doing her work. All the great volunteers that are part of the WHC, World Handball Council, the USHA, and Multnomah Athletic Club, trying to put this event together. Over 1,000 participants in these World Games, coming from multiple countries all around the world. This week-long affair in the Rose City, Portland, Oregon, has been quite festive as of this date, and now the crowds are really packing in here. This room can seat about 200. We have about 300 in here, standing room only. Watching a men's round of 16, one of the greatest draws of all time, played back in, 10-6, Paul Brady now. He's virtually unstoppable from right there. If you can just take a snapshot of Paul Brady's career, that's the shot he'd take. 11-6. 12-6. A lot of these players having a little issue with that front wall camera porthole area, having to adjust their serves. You see Paul, he served that and then took a quick glance at that front wall, like trying to get my ball around that hole, because it definitely does bounce different off that glass. Paul Brady has that high hamstring or quad strain right now on his right leg, yet he's still moving around fairly well out there. Six to 12. You're probably wondering what went on in that last shot. A lot of talking between these two players who absolutely respect each other. It's like they're calling their own game out there. That ball skipped in. Crowd thought it was good, but that ball skipped. Paul does not have that traditional Irish whip, but he does throw it out there from time to time, and you saw that on the last shot. Nice get from Paul. Here's a setup, though. Mike Finnegan should put this away. And he does. And the crowd liked that. It's another point for Mike Finnegan. 8 serves 12. That 9-12 now. That's 3 straight points for Mike Finnegan. Paul Brady doesn't always follow that 3-point run and you automatically take a timeout. He'll do it anytime. Sometimes just 1 point will trigger a timeout from Paul. It's a side out here, first game, round of 16. 12 serves 9. Make that a crack serve. Beautiful right side crack just over the line. Mike looks up at the referee, but it was over by a good 6 inches. 13-9 here. That's a tough shot to hit right there. Wow. Tough shot to hit with a fist shot for Mike Finnegan. Paul Brady puts it away in that right corner. 14-9. Mike taking a quick look at the scoreboard. This is the first game, round of 16. There it is. Nice shot from Mike Finnegan. Nine serves 14, first game. That's a side out. I've witnessed a lot of big matches on this show court. This is just a round of 16 match, and this is the fullest, the most packed that I've ever seen. Never seen this many people hanging out for a men's round of 16 match before. Even the Nationals of 04 did not have crowds like this. Nine serves 14. Mike Finnegan serving to Paul Brady. Mike said he couldn't see that, but trying to listen to the exchange here, that was kind of different. The ball was left up high from Paul Brady, but it's one of the highest screen balls I've seen. Then again, Mike Finnegan is not the tallest of all handball players. 9 serves 14. Very difficult to take a ball off the back wall with that side wall on your left being all glass. Mike Finnegan is finding out here what it's like. The show court in Dublin has the glass on the right wall. Mike has learned to adapt to that, but this one on the left is a little bit different. Score is 15-9. Paul Brady serving, first game, round of 16. That's a foot fault. Ball called short. We have a great angle here to see short balls, foot faults, crack serves. Probably the best seat in the house right here. The webcast booth. Actually watching the game live, not on TV monitors as we have in the past. There's a little bit of contact there. Paul Brady calling it. These guys are basically just calling their own game here. You're not going to see that in the men's quarterfinal match or the semis or the finals, but here with these two buddies, these two friends. (15-9), second serve, Paul Brady. He's going to go up top, underhand, and lob it to the left. Mike Finnegan. Both of these players playing with a different ball here. This is not the Irish ball. The Challenger, they call it back home. Both have to adapt to this ball again. 16-9. Make that 17-9 crack from Paul Brady. Now a timeout call, I believe, from Mike Finnegan. You're watching the WPH's continued coverage of the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships, sanctioned by the World Handball Council. We're live from the Multnomah Athletic Club, Portland, Oregon, where one of the innovators of webcasting technology, Jeff Kastner, has his booth set up here, doing the camera work as well as the engineering, and Jean Kazumoto with her statistician work, giving us all the stats, the score updates, radar gun figures, have all of that stuff from Jean. I want to thank all of the volunteers, the City of Portland, Oregon, the WHC, the USHA, the Multnomah Athletic Club, the World Handball Council for their incredible work this week, setting this whole thing up. Over 1,000 people actually in the tournament, and then another 1,000 or so. They're guessing about 2,500 people associated with this event, and upwards of 3,000 here at the Multnomah Athletic Club. Timeout back in, 17-9, first game. Paul Brady serving to Mike Finnegan. Both of these players representing the Irish Handball, GAA Handball, with their Team Erie shirts on. Both from the same county. Paul Brady serving now at 18-9, first game. Mike thought that was short. Now they're appealing the calls here. Mike isn't appealing the short, he just thinks that the ball skipped. Serves 9, trying to listen to see how that was developing there. I thought we were getting I thought Mike Finnegan was going to fire one of the line judges, but he was asking the referee to fire both of them, which I've never seen done before. I've seen players kick referees out. I've seen them kick line judges out, but not two line judges and a referee all in one shot. First serve, 18-9. Referee, the problem here is the ref can't understand what Mike Finnegan is saying. Now you see Mike actually trying to disrupt Paul during his serve. A lot of shenanigans being pulled in here right now. Mike is quite the prankster, and he's actually just trying to rile up Paul Brady just a little bit here, trying to show some gamesmanship. Right during Paul's serve right there, Mike just made a quick comment, trying to get into Paul's head. Paul's one of the most focused players in all of handball. That's what has made him a great champion. 19-9. This is the first game, round of 16. Paul Brady lives in Mullahorn, County Cavan, Ireland. Mike Finnegan, just down the street, about 15 minutes, in Kingscourt, County Cavan. Actually, it might be about 25 minutes or so. They both play in the same club. They play together. You see Mike Finnegan being very disruptive right here, trying to break the concentration from Paul Brady. It's now 20-9, game point. that serve. That ball hit Paul Brady in the backside. I think you have to know both of these players a little bit to understand what's going on between these two right now. And there it is. Paul Brady takes game number 1, 21-9. And a round of applause from the folks here at the show court gallery, the Multnomah Athletic Club. You're watching the WPH's continued coverage of the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships, sanctioned by the World Handball Council. I want to thank Jeff Castor for his film work and engineering to put these games together, plus Nifty TV, NIFTYTV.com. They are helping us with the stream that you're watching live over the internet. And of course, the United States Handball Association, the Multnomah Athletic Club, the City of Portland, the World Handball Council, and all of those volunteers that have helped make this a success. Not just today, but prior to this, the event kicked off on Sunday and will conclude until this next Sunday. We appreciate the fact that you've tuned into the live event, though, and we're going to be back after about 5-minute timeout. We're going to take a quick one here from the Multnomah Athletic Club. We'll be back. Stick with us. And we are back live from the Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland, Oregon. Game number 2 Paul Brady versus Mike Finnegan. Men's round of 16. My name is Dave Vincent. You're watching the WPH's continued coverage of the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships. First game went to Paul Brady, 21-9. Now we're going into game number 2 here. Men's round of 16, like we said. Show court seats 200 people, and we're well over that. A lot of folks standing around. We get ready for this game number 2 tip-off here. Mike Finnegan serving. Mike from Kings Court County Cavan retrieving Paul Brady from Mullahorn County Cavan. They're doubles partners and best friends. They train together. Now they face each other once again in a round of 16 at the World Championships. Don't know how that happens, but it's happened 2 years in a row now. There's a quick side out for Paul Brady. He's so dangerous right there. Near that dotted line, there's not another player in handball that's better. With that score 1-0, that's a short ball from Paul Brady. Next up after this one, looks like Dave Fink and Charlie Shanks. That's a rare miss from Paul Brady. The score here is 1-1. Paul Brady wins the first game 21-9. Now we're in game number 2. One serves one. Paul Brady, you see, has that wrap around his thigh, his right thigh. He plays Gaelic football. He's a top player in his county. He has this injury. He's a two-sport athlete. He's adverse in both of these sports. Very well known in his county and around Ireland. One heck of an athlete. He's trained so hard for this tournament just to get injured a couple weeks ago. See him limping around just a little bit out there, not usually during the play, but afterwards. One serves two. Really battling with that front glass where the camera porthole area is. Paul has got a lot of serves that have been short. This is where Paul's injury comes into play here. Doesn't want to strain that anymore. One serves two here. You're watching the men's round of 16. That was a good shot from Mike Finnegan. Mike's mother, Philomena, his dad, Kit, and sister, Catherine, are right here in the gallery watching Mike play. Could be an avoidable, not called from the referee. Mike gives Paul a quick little half smirk. Paul does not laugh back. 3-1 is the score. Paul's so amazing. He can get any ball, even with a wrap around his thigh. That could have been called a hinder, not called. Mike allowed to play through it, and he gets the point, now making it 4-1. That was an incredible get, though, from Paul Brady. The crowd here appreciating top handball play. One serves four. Very tough shot to retrieve. Watch what Paul does here. He has so much power from that spot right there that even though he hit it right near Mike, it's still ungettable. The score will be 2-4. You are watching the WPH's continued coverage of the 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships. This is the round of 16. My name is Dave Vincent. Paul Brady versus his best friend, Mike Finnegan, and doubles partners. Two serves four here. Four serves two. This is very much like the first game. Mike Finnegan had a small lead. Then Paul Brady decided to pour it on later part of that first game. Paul slow getting up after that shot. Now you see him laboring just a little bit with that upper quad. Now he's bending it just a little bit. Two serves four. Paul is historic for playing through injuries, though. A lot of power at the dotted line. It's 3-4 now. Second game. Paul wins the first one 21-9 if you just tuned in. Brady here, assuming that if he scores another one, Mike Finnegan will call a timeout. We're 4-4 early on, second game. Four serves four. Place is absolutely packed. I've never seen this many people watching a men's round of 16 match in my life. Five serves four now. Awarded Mike with a hinder call. Now look at Mike, he's actually kind of smiling at Paul. To know Mike Finnegan is to know a guy that's normally just a prankster on and off the court. He plays really loose. Paul Brady quite the opposite. 6-4. Mike knows that too, so he's constantly jarring with Paul out there. That one actually hurt Paul just a little bit. Mike's having fun, but Paul's just trying to get this thing over with so he can go get a deep tissue massage or something on that right quadricep. Six serves four. Quick side out here after that serve. trouble lunging for balls up front. That's going to hurt him in later rounds. 5-6. Mike has actually slowed this game down just a little bit, and Paul then steps in and does that. It's a nice shot from Paul Brady. He has an amazing left hand. 6-5. This is about the point where Paul decided to turn it up in game number 1. Let's see if he does it here. The score should be 5-6. Referee now trying to figure out the scoreboard here. Giving the players a few seconds extra to breathe. That was a side out, but he gave him a point on the scoreboard, so we had to take a little quick timeout to reset that thing. That ball drilling Paul right in the back. 5-6 is the score. You are watching the WPH's continued coverage of the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championships. Try to say that fast 5 times. It's all sanctioned by the WHC, the World Handball Council. This is our first webcast match of this tournament. Nice shot there, though. Mike Finnegan takes that around that corner. He has not been successful back around that right side today. He skipped in more than he's hit. That one was a complete rollout. Gives Paul almost the same exact shot. Now holding onto the ball just a little longer. This is all to break the rhythm of Paul Brady. 6-6 score here. Paul actually has his ball hit that left wall. Watch this. It's just, that time it did not do it. Mike's been taking that around with his right hand. So very difficult to see that ball on that left wall when it gets deep. There's the one that Mike has actually been letting that go. Screen. Now Mike looking up at the referee. Paul shows no emotion out there right now. He knows that his doubles partner's jarring with the referee. He's not even looking back. Mike is... Referee does not know what Mike Finnegan's saying. Paul Brady, who knows Mike Finnegan, doesn't even know what Mike's saying back there. I don't even think Mike knows what he's saying. Paul's just going to serve it. Now you got a little smile from Paul Brady. Now you got a smile from Mike Finnegan. I think this is all done by design. Mike thinks it skipped in. The ball was good. Paul's telling Mike to get in the back court. Now the crowd's laughing. Mike is trying to kick out the line judge. Crowd's getting some kind of enjoyment here. 9-6 is the score. Second game. Paul Brady wins the first one, 21-9. Make that 10-6. As you recall, in the first game, it was Mike Finnegan pulling the same shenanigans, trying to get into Paul's head. Paul just kind of has a a way about him. He just ignores it all. 10-6. Referee's somewhat ignoring it too. He could put a halt to all of that if he wanted to. Six serves 10. Mike thinks that that ball broke, but doesn't realize that that is just a sound that that ball makes over there. It's particle board here. It's not concrete. Mike might not be familiar with particle board walls. Not sure, but that's the sound it makes sometimes. Score is 11-6. Second game. Paul Brady serving. Paul from Mullahorn, County Cavan. Finnegan from Kingsport, County Cavan. Serve 6. Mike Finnegan got here by defeating Tucson, Arizona's Abe Montijo. I do not know what Mike is actually talking about here. That was a correct call from the referee. Mike said to Paul, "Let me take my shot," but then beautiful shot from Mike Finnegan, who then just looked back at the line judge and told the line judge that he skipped that shot in. That kind of interesting. Paul then kind of smiles at the line judge too. It's a side out, 12-6. Crowd kind of clamoring now because of Mike Finnegan's playing around with the line judge. Mike now talking to the referee on every single serve, every opportunity. Actually, kicking is illegal. Got a round of applause though from the crowd. (14-6). Make that 15-6. Second game. Paul Brady won the first one 21-9. 15-6. The most eventful part of this match has been Mike Finnegan's jarring with the line judges and the referee. 16-6. Since Paul Brady pulled out of the open doubles, Mike Finnegan's new doubles partner is Owen Kennedy. Not a bad person to double up with. Now you see Paul Brady smiling just a little bit. Paul Brady hits the ball as hard as anybody on the planet. Mike Finnegan just felt it. And I somewhat agree with Paul Brady there. He feels that if Mike Finnegan was 1/10 of an inch over, it would have been an avoidable hinder. Probably should have called one anyway. missed opportunities for Mike Finnegan. He's just missed the front wall multiple times here during this match. 17-6 score, second game. Six. That's a side out for Mike Finnegan. You are watching the WPH's continued coverage of the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystal World Handball Championship. 6 serves 18, Mike Finnegan. And he gets that sidearm fist punch down the left wall. That's 7-18 now. He scored 9 the first game. That's a good call. Each time you see Paul Brady lunge for a ball, you just wince knowing that he's got that upper leg strain. Nice shot right there from Mike Finnegan. It's kind of a modified underhand Irish whip. He just dumps it in that right corner up there. 8 serves 18. Foot fault not called. That's, if Mike got all of those back here, he would have still lost, but the score would be a little bit more respectable. 18-8. We played at 21. Mike Finnegan stepping in with 8 points here versus Paul Brady's 18. There's a crack serve. Now Mike matches his score from the first game. Watching the live webcast here or just listening to the sound, we're behind by about an hour or so. We'll be about an hour and a half behind after this match concludes. So the schedule that you have is going to be off. You're going to have to add about an hour and a half to each one of those, maybe even 2 hours. There's some more jarring between Mike and the judge in the box. Mike thinks it's a point. 9-18. This is what you have to do against Paul Brady. You have to fight for every single point because he's not going to give you a free one. Amazing shot from Paul Brady right there. Just an amazing shot. That's a side out, 18 serves 9. Paul wins the first one, 21-9. Paul really laboring with that right hamstring, cannot lunge forward very well. Same score. Make that 19-9 now. Game number 2, Paul Brady won the first one, 21-9. Listen to this crowd after this next point, if Paul scores here. This is for game and match. Paul says it's a bad bounce off the back door. Referee's not going to give it to him. referee is going to award this to Paul. This was a great shot that Mike made. It would have been very difficult to dig out, but Paul Brady saw it slide on that left side wall, and then it bounced weird on the back wall. Serves 9. They're playing this over. There it is. Paul Brady wins, and the crowd, very educated here, going to give a standing room only. 21-9, 21-9. Paul Brady advances to the round of 8. We have another match coming up right around the corner. You stick with us here. We are at the Multnomah Athletic Club for the USHA's 2009 Waterford Crystals World Handball Championship, sanctioned by the WHC. We'll be back in just a few shakes. You stay right here.